I've been on drugs a lot, throughout my life. I've been to prison, and it all was a result of me not listening or not believing in Jesus.
Have you ever done drugs? Did you fall into gangs? Did you grow up without a father? If you want to change your life, this video is for you, because you just wait. This is about to be a cut to the heart. Alright, what's your name and where are you from?
My name is John. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee.
Tennessee. How old are you?
42 years old.
42 years old. So if you could go back to your 20-year-old self, what would you tell your 20-year-old self right now?
Right now, I'd probably tell my 20-year-old self is to keep doing the right thing, go to church more, believe in what my mother used to tell me, and just be a good child, a good man, Because had I known now what I knew then, it wouldn't be the same as my life turned out to be right now.
What was the greatest piece of advice or the advice you think your mother would want to instill in you? What was the greatest lesson you took away from your mom?
Well, the greatest lesson that I took to my mom is just keep fighting through any situation, no matter what. I used to be a problem child, so I didn't listen to my mother. So I never understood some of the things that she was telling me, but now it's all starting to click. As I get older, I realized that she was trying to tell me to do the right thing. I just wasn't willing to do the right thing due to circumstances and stuff where I was raised up.
So if you had a general message that you could share with everybody, what would it be?
My general message that I would share with everybody today in this world, I would say, have more faith in God. There's nothing wrong with believing in a man that fed 4,000 people with 5 loaves of bread and 7 pieces of fish. There's nothing wrong with believing in that, something that you can't see. And now that my faith is growing more in Jesus, it's like, can't nobody stop me now. Because I'll be 6'1" in stature, but I'm 7'9" in spirituality now.
What do you feel like what lesson has God taught you here recently in your life?
Well, God taught me a lesson that I got to be patient. He only going to move when he want to move. And once he feels like I'm ready for what I'm asking him, he'll put it in my life. It don't come overnight. So if you praying and you keep praying for the same thing over and over, just sit back, pray about it once and have faith. Let's say he said, believe me, the size of a mustard seed. And if you got faith, I'll give you what you want. See, I had to take an inch and then he gave me the mile that I needed to get to where the point where I'm at now in my life. It's not been an easy road. I've been on drugs a lot, throughout my life. I've been to prison, and it all was a result of me not listening or not believing in Jesus, not believing in the reason he got put on the cross when he could have easily walked off of it, the sacrifices he made for me. And now I understand those reasons, so it makes me want to carry his message around even more.
What is a reason you think that most people fall away when the bad times come?
I can't speak about most people, but I can speak on myself. I feel away from when bad times become because I didn't know what to do. So when bad times came for me, I converted back to the street mentality that I knew. That's how I was raised. I was raised in the streets. So when hard times came to me, I didn't fall to my knees. I fell to a gun and drugs to help me cope to get to where I needed to be. But now I fall back and leave it all at Jesus' foot because he said he won't put too much on me that I can't bear. And I've been through a lot, and now I know that that's true. That everything that I've been going through, I've been getting through it, and it's because the faith that I've been having in Jesus and believing in myself.
So you said you were the problem child, you said.
Yeah.
So what would you give advice to mothers dealing with sons that are being a problem child?
Well, first of all, I would say that I said I was a problem child, and the only reason that I believe I was a problem child because I wasn't getting the attention that I wanted at home. And the only way that I got my mama to say I love you or to show affection toward me was to do things, act out in school or get in trouble. And it seemed like that was the only time that she really even, said, I love you. It's gonna be all right. You just need to do what you need to do. I was a child that didn't I played football, baseball, and basketball. Nobody was at my football, baseball, basketball games or none of that. I always did it by myself. And and I used to be mad about those things. But now that I've been recovering off drugs, and I see a new light that the lady did the best she could, trying to raise a man. And I don't blame her fully for doing the things she did in life, but I blame myself because at the end of the day, I had a decision to keep going or fall victim to a product of being a product of my environment. But
Did you grow up without a father, or was your father?
I mean, my father was here and there. He was a hit and miss. He was one of those guys that said I'd be there on Friday and then I'd be sitting at the door waiting on him to come, but he never showed up. And it really hurt me. So I found the father figure in the streets, which led me to gangs. And I felt like they loved me, but they really didn't. It only got me deeper and deeper into the street life where I'm just now starting at 42 years old to recuperate from being in that type of lifestyle.
So would you say if your father was more present, things may look different?
If my father was more present and I had a father figure in my life to push me and give me the right support that I needed, I think I'd be on TV somewhere. I was All-American in school. I just couldn't stay in school. I couldn't stay out of trouble. And the life I wanted it as a early child. I wasn't fortunate to have Jordans and Air Force Ones growing up, which was materialistic stuff, but all the rest of the kids had it, so I wanted it. So I went out and seek the devil's work to get Jordans, to get Air Force Ones, to be the person that everybody wanted to be around, but I went about it the wrong way when all I had to do was sit down and listen to my mom and stay in school and do what I needed to do. I totally take full accountability for the way my life was, but it's two things I can't change in my life right now, and that's my past and tomorrow. So I'm living for my future, and right now my future is real bright.
So many of kids today, they grow up without fathers. The divorce rate is 50%. Very, very, very high. What would you say to the kid growing up without the father and needs that role model? Where should he go? And what advice would you give to that kid?
First, I would tell that child, pray to Jesus. Ask God to lead you in the right direction. And there's a lot of men out here who have been through a lot, have changed their life around and been through that same struggle that you've been through. So if you seek help in the right way, you can get help. Run across people like me that's street smart and kind of a little bit of book smart. But I got a lot of advice of knowledge and wisdom and understanding in what I would tell a child to do is listen to your mama. She knows best. Don't make it hard on her than it already is. Be a good role model, a good child. And throughout what you're going through, if you still breathing, that's a good day.
So you said you've been in jail.
Right.
What advice would you give to the inmate right now?
What advice I would give to an inmate that's coming home, that's been gone for a substantial amount of time? I would tell them to get around good people. Get around people who have been out here on these streets that's doing the right thing, because that was the way that I had to learn when I got out of prison. When I got out of prison, I had to start hanging around people who had been out here, who had to show me how to walk, how to talk to people, how to act in certain places, because I didn't know. It was like they let a lion out of a cage. It's no prison reform. So if you think you're going to prison to get better, you in for a rude awakening. You're not. You're going to get worse. It's like, and once you get out, I think you should go be around people who are great-minded and people who want to see you do good. Don't go back to the block. Don't go back to the neighborhood. Don't go looking for love in the same places that you thought you saw love at before you went.
Did you ever have time or ever struggle with forgiving yourself?
I struggle with forgiving myself all the time, but I work a program right now that teaches me how to surrender. And I surrendered everything to my higher power, which is God. I surrendered everything to him. And when I surrendered, I had to believe that I wanted to surrender. And with that, I had to surrender everything. I couldn't just surrender what John wanted to surrender. I had to surrender every little thing that I wanted to change about me, my lifestyle, my infidelity, the way I treated people, the way I talked to people, the way I dressed, and the way I just wanted to be a man. I had to surrender all those things to my higher power, which is God. And once I surrendered, I believed in what I was surrendering. And it didn't come overnight because everything didn't change. Everything is just starting to change for me. And it's been almost 2 years going on that I've been sober off of drugs. No mind changing off this alternate substance, period. Truly relied on God in a program that I found that worked for me. And I'm carrying a message to everybody who still suffers.
So it sounds like you have to have a lot of patience in this journey.
In this journey, you got to have patience. That's something that I can't teach myself. I got patience when the court system said, you got all this time to do in jail. And I thought I wasn't coming back home. So I had all the patience in the world then. So why not have patience in having a better life? And once I started having more patience with myself, I started loving myself. And the more I was patient with myself, I didn't run from things when it got hard no more. I stood tall. I standing on 10. I prayed to God about it and I left it alone. And ever since I've been doing that, I have no faults about me. I don't regret nothing that I did because sometimes you got to go through it to get to where you're going to be in life. Everybody wasn't meant to be an NBA or NFL or a Major League Baseball player. Some of us were put out here to be a helping stone to help others not go what I've been through.
Yeah. So I've been through some stuff, but going through stuff, the biggest lesson that I've ever taken away is when you're going through something that's not going to change, that you're going to have to deal with forever, something that's happened in the past, or something that can change the present, you're going to need an outlet,
right,
something you can go to.
Right.
Throughout your life, what has been your outlet?
My outlet for things that I went through were drugs. It's plain and simple. My outlet was like that until like 3 years ago. I started this recovery journey. And once I did that, and the program that I take is the first step. We had to admit that I was powerless over alcohol and drugs. I had to admit that I was powerless over that. And I was powerless over my own life. And then it told me to create a contact with God as I understood him. I didn't understand it fully, but I started seeking because I knew he could and would if he was sought. So once I sought out to God, he started leading me in the right direction. I now know what I need in my life, and that's recovery and following the word of Jesus.
So since drugs, how long have you been sober off drugs?
I've been sober going on 2 years. Next month on the 15th. Next month on the 15th, I have 2 years sober. And that's a blessing because I didn't even think that I would ever be able to get off drugs because there was the love of my life. I hurt people to get drugs. I hurt my loved ones. I hurt a lot of people because of my drug addiction. But now I'm willing to make amends with the people that I hurt in my life. And I don't know how to do it, but I do know how to do it. And it's showing them with actions and not saying I'm going to do it, actually doing it.
So since drugs was your outlet a little over 2 years ago, what's your outlet today?
Today, my outlet is believing in the power greater than myself, which is God. I believe in him wholeheartedly now. I went to this camp, Trace Diaz. I was Trace Diaz number 42. And what made me really, 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 really start believing in God is they reenacted the way that Jesus was put on that cross. And when I got around the corner, it was a bloody footprint on the ground. And in the middle of that bloody footprint, it said John. And I cried, and I realized that man sacrificed for me who hadn't even been born yet. So it gave me a new look on life. Like, John, you need to do this. Because if somebody died for you, and you weren't even born yet, you can do it. And I started believing. And ever since then, I've been believing wholeheartedly through what he's telling me to do.
So the verse for the outlet that my brand is starting is John 16:33.
Mm-hmm.
So when Jesus was talking to his apostles right before he went on that cross and died for us, and he said, in this world, you will have tribulation.
Right.
But take heart, I have overcome the world.
Right.
They didn't understand that he was about to die on the cross for their sins, and that's how he was overtaking the world.
Right.
So I think that's really powerful that how all the names correlate is coincidentally.
Yeah, because see, like,
this is how it works.
Yeah, that's how it works, and that's why I love myself now, because I speak through the Spirit. Everything I say out of my mouth is real, is uncut, is authentic, and and I'm always gonna put Jesus' words into it because that was the only way I made it. That was, truth be told, like he been told me all my life, through everything that I done been through, all the people that I done lost, all the homeboys that got killed around me. And I had to wonder, like, God got me here for a reason. And now I found that reason. My reason is to help my juvenile delinquents, my younger brothers who need me, who need to hear my voice. Because see, like, I don't think that everybody understands that. I think what makes me powerful because I've been through it, I've been through it, and I'm not just speaking off of what somebody told me. I'm speaking off of what I've been through. So who better to carry the message than me? Who better to go talk to the people, the young guys in the neighborhood than me, versus somebody who never been in the streets, somebody who never been to jail, somebody who never been to where they trying to get to than me.
Exactly.
I feel obligated to do that. And that's why I'm gonna get my life together. I'm gonna stay on the right track because I know that's my calling is to help my younger generation because they need me.
And you said you're from Memphis.
I'm from Memphis, Tennessee.
So there's a lot of help and a lot of work that needs to be done in Memphis. Is there a certain part of Memphis you would go to, like where you grew up, or is it just like you're trying to help everywhere?
No, I want to help everybody.
I got you.
See, because my God said that if I can help one person, I did a good day. So I don't want to seclude this to one area. These are all areas. See, because when I was gang banging and I was doing drugs, I was going in every neighborhood, destroying people's lives or hurting people, or not being able to give back to the people who freely gave to me. I took away from society for a long time, and now I'm not willing to do that no more. I want to give back to society, and the only way I know to give back to society is to help these single parents out, because I know what it feels like for a mother to raise a man. So I feel I'm obligated to do those things, man. Yeah, man, and for anybody who out there that think about giving up, don't quit before the miracle happens. The miracle is right around the corner. Just don't run away from it. It's gonna come to you in your life, a point in your life where you're gonna have to deal with life on life terms. Where I'm gonna have to know that a feeling is just a feeling, it go away. No, nothing stays the same, everything changes. But it's what you're willing to do to make everything change. Don't sit and think that this stuff gonna change because you saying, I wanna change. You gotta put the footwork in to change. And to my younger generation out there, stay away from gangs, because it ain't what you think it is. You will reap what you sow. You can't serve two masters. And the only master that I serve right now is Jesus Christ. And I'm gonna cut it off with that.